Yeah. Blackjack. Life is like a game of cards. It's not what you dealt, but how you play it. Yeah. Blackjack. To play each situation correctly. I remember they used to laugh at a brother.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy Delray Richardson, platinum songwriter, platinum artist, Straight Game TV. Welcome back. Click the like button, click the share button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you being here. I'm gonna get right into it. I was posed another question because most of the people who understand and know my story knew I was around Pac, knew I hung around him. And like I said, sold 1 million records with him. And the question was asked, why do I think Tupac didn't diss Rass Kass, and he dissed Chino XL for the song Riot that was on Chino XL's album called Here to Save You All, that was released on April 9th, 1996. And the answer to that question is this. If you remember, Tupac, he actually went after Jay-Z for allowing Biggie on his song when Biggie said the lyric, if Faith had twins, she'd probably have two Pacs. Get it? Two Pacs, right? But the difference was Jay-Z. It was Jay-Z's song, Jay-Z's album. So Pac was the type of guy like, well, if you let Biggie say something about me on your album, then you're complicit. On the flip side, when Chino XL dissed Tupac, he dissed Tupac on his own album, and Rass Kass didn't say anything about Tupac. And for people who are not familiar with that, like I said, it was a volatile time back then. It was crazy. It was deadly. Basically, Chino XL on the song featuring Rass Kass called Riot, he basically said, by this industry, I'm not trying to get fucked like Tupac in jail. And at the time, Wendy Williams, who was on the radio, was basically spreading rumors about Tupac allegedly being sexually assaulted in jail. And Tupac had always denied that. And like I said, so that's basically what started their beef. And so if you can, understand what I just said in regards to why he wouldn't diss Rass Kass, is because Rass Kass never said anything about him. And furthermore, when you in the studio, Rass Kass could have, put his lyrics down first. Chino could have came second and put it down, so you really didn't, you want to jump the gun on that. But like for what Chino XL had said, I think it was explicit and straightforward enough that, he wanted some smoke, should I say, with Tupac in regards to that. And that was one of those trolling moments, if you will. Tupac was the hottest thing on the planet. And I think Chino XL was trying to take a shot at him, in releasing his record and trying to gain some kind of publicity off of that situation, if you will. And so, Tupac, being the Tupac that he was, never to lay down, on June 4th, 1996, he dropped Hit 'Em Up. And we basically all know that in Hit 'Em Up, at the end of Hit 'Em Up, he basically, mentioned Chino XL name. He said, Chino XL, fuck you too. He said, I'll make sure all your kids don't grow. Chino XL was a father at that time of 2 daughters. And he took offense to that. And so when he heard Hit 'Em Up and heard what Tupac said, he basically responded with a freestyle later that year in 1996. He responded with a freestyle on 91.5 FM WNYE in New York with Mr. Magic and Mr. C. And the freestyle was killer. Like I said, I can't deny that. Like, Chino XL was lyrically gifted. He was a dope guy. And the thing about him is he didn't even pull any punches. He was the type of guy, like, even in that lyric that he did about Tupac, he basically went after Michael Jordan's father. What you can say a disrespectful manner. He also went after Magic Johnson, and he also went after Hugh Grant. for the incident that he was involved with, getting caught with the prostitute on Sunset Boulevard. And so yeah, so like I said, Chino XL came back with the freestyle, and then later on that year, basically Tupac went on the King Tech, and it was like King Tech and Sway and King Tech. They had like this morning show, basically was syndicated, and Tupac went on there, basically was talking about how he was gonna beat Chino XL's ass and whip his ass when he seen him, and things were getting a little bit volatile. It was, at that time it was pretty. They had the East and West Coast thing, and it was just like Chino XL was on the West Coast, Pac was on the West Coast, so things that kind of got kind of like out of hand. So later on that year, in 1996, around about August sometime, Tupac and Chino XL kind of squashed their beef, and cooler heads had prevailed at that particular time. And the confirmation to that is, if you notice on the Machiavelli album, Tupac mentioned a lot of people that he had problems with, by name. But Chino XL was one of the people that he did mention, because basically they had squashed their beef. They had, put their differences aside. Chino XL was basically saying he was just, it was kind of like a thing that he wasn't taking a shot at Tupac. He was just trying to, like I said, some shock jock type stuff, say something where people would say, oh, he didn't say that, and it did give him some publicity. And I'll admit, Tupac kind of made Chino XL famous. And until this day, if you go on YouTube and listen to Hit 'Em Up, it's over, I think, 300 million views. And every time you would hear Tupac mention Chino XL's name, that sparks interest about who is Chino XL. And people look him up and search him and probably listen to his music. And he's probably getting some views and spins and things like that from every time people hear Tupac mention his name in that record. Yeah, so it was an interesting time, man. But it was, like I said, if you had to be back there in 1996, like I said, to really understand what the tension was like. You know what I mean? And I had to give Chino XL his credit, because basically, he was not scared. Most people were scared of death row. Most people was, he wasn't scared. He had came out. He had actually said that lyric, even though it wasn't true. And he was just basically trying to troll Pac, because Pac was on top of the world. And you know what I mean? Let me go after the guy who's on top of the dome, on top of the throne, and try to, get me a little bit of publicity, if you will. And so, yeah, that was basically what that was about. So that's the reason why, when you heard Tupac come back with Against All Odds and all of that, he didn't diss Rass Kass, because, like I said, he respected Rass Kass, I think, lyrically. And Rass Kass wasn't the type of guy who would go after somebody like that in a rap. Rass Kass was the bomb too. You know what I mean? Lyrically gifted, sharp with the pen and the pad, and like I said, one of the dopest lyrics at that particular time. So yeah, man, so and it was another misconception, because a lot of people, people like to run rumors and things like that. People were saying that when Chino XL did the freestyle in New York on the radio station, that he was rapping over the Who Shot Ya beat, and that's not true. Basically, he was rapping over a DJ Premier beat that he had produced for a group that he had put out called The Group Home, and the song was called The Realness. And so to clear that up, people like, yeah, he rapped over the Who Shot Ya beat, and he dissed Pac and so on and so forth. That's simply not true. Your boy Del Rey, Straight Game TV. Yeah, hit the like button, subscribe. Your boy, Straight Game.